going forward in terms of my role would really be around decisions that align with the health and well-being of these whales. Ideally, all whales belong in the ocean.
It's terrible. And you put 30 whales in an acre. Like, give me a break. Like, they need to do a better job down at Marineland. But at the end of the day, if we want these whales to survive, we have to move them somewhere.
All right, another controversial story involving Marineland, a one-time popular tourist spot in Ontario that has not been opened in a while. You heard there from Ontario Premier Doug Ford, as well as the federal Fisheries Minister Joanne Thompson, commenting on this news that the federal government today saying they will stop Marineland from sending 30 beluga whales to China. Let's bring in Erin Ryan. She is a World Animal Protection Campaign Manager. Good to see you, Erin. Thanks for taking the time for CTV. Your thoughts on this decision by the federal government?
Well, I'm really pleased to see Ottawa take a very strong, principled stance in denying the export permit. We simply can't export these problems. We have to show leadership by making an informed decision, weighing all the options carefully.
I know that Marineland has been the source of controversy in the past over the treatment of some of the animals, some of the whales here. If the whales were to be sent to China, what would happen to them? Any sense?
I think we'd see very much the same perpetuation of what we're seeing in Marineland now, is that these animals would live in small, cramped conditions. And with the passing of Bill S-203 back in 2019, we know that Canadians don't want to see animals involved in performances or breeding, and this would be completely counter to the spirit of that bill.
Can I get your reaction to Premier Doug Ford, who is disappointed, he said, with the federal government's decision and says, you know, there were other options on the table, that he does not agree with this ban?
Premier Ford is absolutely right in that these whales deserve better, but exporting them to China is not the solution. We have a real opportunity to show leadership in this area, and I think it starts with convening a meeting of all the experts to carefully weigh the options, including independent veterinary assessment.
Yeah, what are some of the options in terms of the future for these whales?
I see two options moving forward, is that Doug Ford can really show leadership and help get the whale sanctuary project in Nova Scotia off the ground, and that some of those animals might be able to be transferred there. The other option, of course, is that we set up sort of a hospice or palliative care situation for the animals at Marineland so that we're able to care for them on site during the final years of their life.
When you say a whale sanctuary, can you just give us a little bit more details over what that might potentially look like in Nova Scotia?
So the idea behind this is that it's a much more naturalistic setting. The animals would be in the actual ocean where they belong, and it would be a more safe and animal welfare appropriate setting for them. So these animals, although they'd still be in captivity for the rest of their lives, we would simulate their natural environment as closely as possible.
Are you getting any sense that the federal government here, the Fisheries and Oceans Minister, is open to that idea? Where do things stand on that?
I'm certainly hopeful to see that the Fisheries Minister took such a strong stance, and it sounds like they're interested in open dialogue about finding the most humane solution. So we are very optimistic about further conversations.
Erin Ryan with World Animal Protection. She coming to us today from Vancouver. Thanks, Erin, for taking the time for CTV. Much appreciated.
Thank you.